Perfect. So, Simon,
Hello.
welcome to the TechBBQ 2025 podcast.
Thank you very much.
I invited you through the Umbrella app, the matchmaking app for the convention, ahead of the actual convention in the past few days. And I did this because I found you and your company, and it's an interesting profile. And I felt this was actually a interesting story behind the company and the journey getting there as well. But before we dive into the actual company and what you do, what you make, what space you are in, can you take us through the journey of getting there? All the way, maybe a little bit about your own personal background, educational background, where you're from, leading you up to what made you to found this company.
Yeah. So I founded my first company in 2009. This was a peer-to-peer lending company and one of the first in the Nordics. So it was called Fixura. And we had, in Finland, we had more than 100,000 registered users. We had around 10,000 investors on the platform, and the rest was like borrowers. And we had, I think, was it around 130 million euros total, like borrowed and between just normal people. We didn't have any institutional money on the platform. But what we saw then was that it was a very big change coming in since we started the company and then when we exited the company in 2021. And that was the thing that when we started the company, people were borrowing money to spend it on things like motorbikes, traveling, whatever, new kitchen. But in the end, it was just to pay other loans or to survive. And then we started thinking about that there's a lot of people in financial trouble, and there must be a way to help all these people that also can be scalable. And then the idea of Rensa was born.
Yeah. So you came from a background of a lending, not a background, but your first company was a lending platform, a peer-to-peer lending platform, but moving you into a different kind of space, but built upon the same background as the peer-to-peer background, leading you up to building Rensa.
Yes. I also had another fintech company called Clever, where we raised something like, I think it was 4.5 million euro total. It went really well, but we just ran out of money. And that was into like the invoicing space. So really, handling invoices through an app and so forth. It was a good business idea, I think, still today, but we just ran out of money.
Yeah. Well, it happens.
Yeah, but it's also something you learn from.
Absolutely, definitely. So speak to me about a bit about Rensa and what the platform actually is and how it's set up and which problems you are trying to solve.
Yeah, so Rensa now is building the next level CFO for your pocket. So this is for consumers, firsthand at least. And how it works is that you connect your accounts and cards through open banking. And we do some magic. We are not feeding directly your transactions into AI, but we are doing magic, categorizing things and things like that before we actually feed anything to the AI. And then the AI will analyze your spending patterns, your income, everything, and see like where are your problems, or it doesn't need to be even problems, but what can you improve? What could we do better here? And it will always be with you as well. So you will have, once you connect your accounts, you will have 6 months before you need to again verify your accounts. So it will be with you all the time, the CFO, and guide you with your finances. and you can ask, of course, through the chat anything, and everything that you can just imagine is possible, like with uploading receipts and invoices. You can also pay invoices, pay loans, whatever through the Rensa app.
Awesome. So it's like a CFO is mostly used maybe in a corporate way, but this is your own personal finances CFO, someone watching your spending and advising, giving feedback on your spending.
And also not only like doing that, but also like actually creating action steps on what to do, how to pay off your loans faster now so that you get out of debt, and giving real action steps to the user.
In this, I imagine there is two major difficulties. One is recognizing spending patterns, maybe, and how to optimize those. And one is the data security.
Yeah, we're working, of course, a lot with the data security, and we also have in the board real specialists that have been CEOs of cybersecurity companies. So that's, of course, a big part for us. And analyzing the spending patterns, and that actually the LLM is really good at that. The difficult part, of course, is the categorization to really, really understand what is what. But we have come a long, long way with that as well.
Is the version of the AI you're using, is it built upon an established LLM, or have you made it from scratch, or where?
It's mostly ChatGPT 5.
Yep.
But also a part of it is like own built.
Yeah, well, I as being in the AI space myself, I encourage people not to build. Do not build an AI from the bottom. Tap into OpenAI, tweak it, make it your own, but use the foundation that is already built. There's no reason to rebuild something that already exists.
Exactly.
Awesome. So actually, you found that the ChatGPT 5, the OpenAI connections are quite good at recognizing spending patterns?
Yeah, we think so.
Yeah, definitely. And how do you use the spending patterns to advise people on how to make the smart decisions? Do you rely on the decision making of the LLM, the ChatGPT 5, or do you have some financial people in the company who have put in some parameters or something like that about what to do, this in case?
Yeah, so here's, of course, the real magic sauce in Rensa is building these kind of prompts to the AI on what it actually should do, because you cannot just let it run wild. You need to control it as well.
And I imagine, I don't know if, because I have two opinions about the same thing here. That on one hand, finances can be a very individual experience. You have each individual situations. You have old debt, your student debt, maybe, or something came up, or your house debt, or whatever. But then again, on the other hand, I feel that on average, most finances look about the same. If you take a step back and look at it as big data, most finances look about the same. Is this the finding you have, or do you need to tweak a lot of personal adaptations to make the software run smoothly?
What we have seen during the years, also like working with credit scoring earlier in my previous company, is that you have sort of different clusters of people that having sort of the same situations. And from that you can learn a lot, of course. But yeah, I would say that overall we can identify these different, patterns, and from that try to get as good as possible. Of course, you can never be 100%, but you can be close.
So in building this and And releasing this, did you find that people welcomed the solution, or did you have to sell the idea more than necessary, or did people really welcome this idea of third-party AI-controlled financing controlling?
I think that people are very open to this nowadays. There are always these ones that say that, oh, I will never put my transactions to an AI or whatever. But that's just a very, very small minority. I have had a lot of investor meetings here at the event, and a lot of them are saying that, hey, I can be in the test group that put me in test flights. So this has been really fun.
Awesome. Well, in the development and releasing of this, which are some of the major issues that you stumbled upon?
Actually, like the real chatting with the AI has been maybe the most difficult, which we thought was supposed to be the most easy part here. Because when you're used to, doing with chatting with ChatGPT or Grok or whatever, and you get quite good answers already. But here you need to actually tweak so much the prompts. So when a user is typing in something, you need to change the prompt to the LLM before it answers back to get a good answer. But with the other stuff, it has been probably like easier than what we thought.
Really? Wow. But yeah, I imagined having the chat function in the app, that the chat responses can easily derail and go away from the original subject of personal financing. Do you find that people chat about all kind of stuff with the app, or?
Yeah, so that's what we are trying to sort of get rid of, that it will stay on focus.
Yeah. It speak about your personal finances, but not how many books did Stephen King write or something like this.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. I imagine this is a big difficulty to solve correctly.
Yeah. And then one other thing with Rensa, which was sort of the main idea from the beginning then, is this debt management that we're having. So this is, of course, something really cool that is built into this app, that you can use different kind of payment strategies, and it will show you like how much will you actually save if you just put 100 euro extra this month onto the loan with the highest interest rate, and it will calculate throughout the time, like you will save a lot of money and time just by putting a little bit extra.
Yeah.
And the AI can then suggest to you, where do you save this money to put extra on that loan. So for example, you have 7 subscriptions for TV channels. Could you do with 5? And so forth.
Awesome. This is really, really brilliant. And you may be correct in the assumption, because people are not today. A lot of people are not afraid to ask critical questions to the ChatGPT already. So why not adapt the LLM directly into your personal finances, allowed to make educated decisions instead, based on quality data, instead of just general prompts that you feed them. And I think there will be a huge market for especially younger generations that really want to adapt this, and expect maybe even in the future for this kind of technology to be implemented already in their banking services.
Yeah. And we are going to launch in all of Europe during the autumn. The technology is working, so with open banking. So it's going to be a quite fun ride, I hope.
So this is the plan for the future for Rensa now, is to roll out into the full European market. And now you're based in Finland?
Yes.
And only Finland at the moment?
Yeah, we have also done some piloting in Sweden as well. But currently just live in Finland. but the technology is working. So
you're getting ready to roll out throughout Europe. What does the future development of the app look like? What is something you're planning to add or develop, or what do you wish for this to become in the future?
well, the vision here is actually that it's going to be so good that you will forget about your banking apps, and you will use Rensa as a daily banking app for all your different bank accounts in the same place. Your cards, everything is there, and the personal finance assistance is always with you, helping you. And of course, we have everything like automated budgets showing you like how much can you spend on each category this month or until payday and things like this. This is already there.
What in terms of functionality, is there anything you're working behind the scenes on rolling out, or something new you want the app to be able to do, or something?
Well, one feature I can talk about is that we are going to allow sort of shared accounts. So you can share with your spouse, for example, and just click which accounts would you like the other person to see. And then you can mix your finances together and see the whole household's finance.
That's quite nice. That's quite nice, actually. I can't help but think that maybe the end result, you dream that people will use the Rensa first and then forget about the local banking apps. I can't help but have the feeling that it will be the other way around, that you will be integrated into the banking apps instead. So everyone already have the phone app for their own bank. You have the Luna or whatever, something bank you have, and they have their own app, all of them, of course, and they have the economy. Is there an angle to put Rensa inside the existing apps instead?
There might be. We haven't made that decision, but who knows? It might be able to white label.
Because I think the technology is interesting, and as you are adjusting more and more and more and more the AI to comply with what you want it to do and stuff like this, I do believe the technology that you are developing is really, really interesting and could be a game changer to put in, because people already use and trust their banking apps. If now the Rensa technology is already implemented into these, then of course you will sit on the licensing and you own the software or the DAOs, but then you would suddenly acquire a huge database of customers instantly. And everyone would be using, because I feel a lot of the younger Fintech banks are already trying to implement some sort of stuff where you can track your finances, you can put automatic savings up, and if you every time you spend your card, let's round the number up to an even number and put the money into a savings account and see your finances, how much you spend, how much you gain, stuff like this. So I think there's a huge market in the fintech industry in general to put stuff like this into the banking world.
Yeah, this was the thing, of course, with Rensa as well, that we wanted, is that, you know, you're using your bank that you might enjoy using and the card and so forth, but we are not like other sort of neo banks that you need to be our customer, you need to have our card, you need to do that to be able to get the categorization of your transactions and so forth. We wanted to build an app where you can use whatever, and you can use multiple banks and multiple cards and get the whole picture.
Yeah. Totally makes sense. So for the future, you see that you want by now people to use the Rensa app first, and this is what you're rolling out, and you're rolling out throughout Europe in the fall now, this year? Yes. Yeah, awesome. So the last quarter of the year will be spent managing the total rollout, I can imagine. You'll have a lot of customer requests and ask support and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And making sure that everything is running smoothly. So this is your plan for the next few months?
Yeah, well, we are raising a seed round now that we would want to have done before Christmas. And of course, it costs a lot of money to go out in all of Europe. So that's why we're raising that one. So, of course, it's depending on actually when it's actually closing, when we actually for real can go out. But we will have at least a soft launch anyhow.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining the podcast and having us get to know more about you and Rensa app. It's been a pleasure having you, and I'm really looking forward to following the journey of Rensa. I absolutely do believe you are on the correct path. Not that you're not here to have me judge you, but I do feel, because I work in the same space, I do feel that this is something that everybody would want in the future. How, if it's in the bank, or separate app, whatever, it doesn't matter. But something like this is something that everybody would want in the future, and you're really a first pioneer in this space of automated financial advising integrated with the banking. So I do believe you have, I hope you will have great success, and I look forward to following the journney. And thank you so much for joining the podcast on a hectic TechBBQ as always. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of TechBBQ 2025.
Thank you. And of course, same to you.
Thank you.